What is up, everybody? It's your boy. Happy Monday. How's everybody doing on this fine Monday morning? I'm doing great. Thank you. Yeah, so yesterday was an interesting day for the sport of college football, in my opinion. I did live stream the playoff selection, but I wasn't on for much longer after that. I did spend the majority of the day checking in on the Twitter machine and stating my piece and going back and forth with people on there. And I got to tell you, after a full day of letting anybody with an internet connection try to explain to me, like I am a 5-year-old, why the decision yesterday was not terrible for the sport of college football, and I still am not convinced otherwise. And people always look. There's a problem with the education system in this country. Well, I already knew that before yesterday, but it definitely confirmed it for me. The fact that people don't understand why this is bad for the sport of college football just absolutely blows my mind. And you know what it is? A lot of times, this definitely has something to do with Clemson as well, and we'll get into that in a minute with Dabo Swinney out there making power moves. But a lot of times when it comes to social media and or YouTube, which I guess is a form of social media, where people are pleading their case, they project, right? Like with the Dabo Swinney thing, the game has passed him by. Clemson's fallen off. Clemson's never going to be good again. The glory days were over. It was a nice run. That they're projecting what they want to happen to you. And the same thing with the playoff selection yesterday. People can't fathom for 2 seconds, because this is one of the main arguments I was hearing. Oh, yeah, of course, look at the ACC. People even posted videos about this on YouTube. Look at all the ACC people upset about it. Yeah, get over it. The ACC sucks. It has, to anybody with an IQ over 80, it has zero to do with conference. I don't know what's so hard to understand about the situation. It doesn't matter if it was a Big Ten team, an SEC team, a Big 12 team, or a Pac-12 team, or an ACC team. They set a precedent yesterday and also confirmed it that they don't care about the regular season. This is now college. Welcome to college basketball, folks. The most meaningless regular season in all of sports, college basketball. Well, now you can add football into that. Now you can add football into that. Because as soon as they picked Alabama over Florida State, Alabama with a loss, undefeated Florida State, I said, I can't wait to hear the justification, because they bring the committee chair on there to try to explain why they picked the teams that they picked. And of course they doubled down on, we would have put them in there, with an undefeated regular season and winning their conference, a Power 5 conference, but Jordan Travis isn't going to play, and we just think that they suck without him. They just decided that without Jordan Travis, the team is terrible. That's all great if you're an Alabama fan, or if you're a Washington fan. Well, Washington was undefeated. If you're a Texas fan, that's great. Especially for you, Alabama, it's great for you. Until they decide to keep your team out of the playoffs in the future because your star players are hurt. Is this the first time? Can somebody refresh my memory here? Is this the first time in the playoff era where a key quarterback, a key player to the team was out, and a team made it in to the playoffs anyway? Gee, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, back in 2014. Back in 2014, Ohio State was down to what? Their third string quarterback. Made it to the playoffs. Everybody and their mother was running around saying that Ohio State had no chance to beat Alabama. with their third string quarterback. I can already hear you typing on in the comment section right now. Yeah, Pete, but they beat Wisconsin 59-0 the week before that. Yeah, Wisconsin was a terrible representative for the Big Ten West, just like almost every year. But that has nothing to do with anything. Nobody gave them a chance to beat Alabama, and they did. And then they went on to beat Oregon and win a national title. So by the metric that they set yesterday, they could have easily left Ohio State out in 2014 and they wouldn't have a national championship in 2014 right now. People are such homers for their team and or their conference that they don't even care about the state of the sport as a whole. They could care less. As long as their team or their conference gets in, they don't care how that affects, how the ripple effect happens down the line for their team in the future, until it does happen to their team. I hate Florida State as much as anybody on this planet, but they absolutely deserve to be playing for a national championship this year. You do not punish an entire coaching staff, an entire 100 other kids on the team for one guy getting injured and who continued to win even though he was injured. And another game that a lot of people said that they wouldn't win, against Louisville. They went out there and handled their business, got left out. The regular season doesn't matter anymore. Oh, and by the way, forget great non-conference scheduling. Michigan's got the formula. We better all just start copying Michigan. You all want those compelling non-con matchups early in the season? Forget about it. Why? It was a complete and total waste of time for Florida State to go out there and schedule a big boy non-con game early in this season. There's two teams. Well, a bunch of teams, but there's two as far as this conversation is concerned. There's two teams that had highly rated, viewed, highly anticipated, big time non-conference games in the first 2 weeks of the season. Who were they? Alabama played Texas. Florida State played LSU. One of those teams won that game. The other one lost it. And the one that won it is sitting on the sideline watching the one that lost it play for their national championship spot. That's what's happening right now. And this will be the last thing before I get off of here, because I already know whatever you're going to type in the comment section to try to convince me otherwise, it's just not going to be relevant to the conversation. I'm sorry, it's not. I've heard 100 different arguments, and all of them are as, well, Pete, if Alabama played Florida State tomorrow on a neutral field, Alabama will run up and down the field on them. Yeah, just like they did to Auburn. I heard you're going to run up and down the field on Auburn too. How'd that work out for you? So just because you think that they would beat them, okay, I guess that's what we'll go off of then. But this is the last thing I'll say before I get off of here. I don't understand how anybody could come to the conclusion that Florida State should be sitting on the sideline this week. I don't know how anybody can come to that conclusion. Nobody. And for all of you people that are going to tell me, well, it doesn't matter, Pete, you're all worried about, the state of college football. Well, next year we're going to the 12-team playoff, so we won't have that. We don't have to worry about this anymore. Yeah, you do. It doesn't matter how many teams you allot for a playoff. There's always going to be 1, 2, or 3, or 4 on the outside looking in. The debate just won't be about the 4th spot. It'll be about the 12th spot instead. And guess what? If you're one of these fans of these teams that's happy about this, the way things went yesterday, I really hope that you're not the 13th team next year. And I really hope you don't have an injured player on that team and you get left out of the 12-team playoff because you have an injured player. That would be terrible, wouldn't it? Yes, it would. All right, everybody. I'll holler at you later.